safer world is possible, and together we can and will make it happen. Thank you.
When you show up in community, you find that group that makes you feel like home, but oftentimes you also find yourself again.
Are to be believed, Chris and Lizzie, Harry slightly overshadowed his brother's efforts this week by rocking up in Canada.
So there was an announcement earlier this week that Prince Harry was going to travel to Canada for a couple of days in support of the Canadian Armed Forces and their veteran community. We know that's something, Harry has done a lot of work in this sphere all around the world, so that's not unusual. However, the announcement came just as Prince William was stepping foot onto Sugarloaf Mountain for his first engagement in Rio during the Earthshot Prize. So there was some raised eyebrows about the timing of that, and was it dropped out to try and overshadow his brother? We have asked Prince Harry's team why they chose that timing. They said that this has been something that's been in the works for about a year, and they had no choice basically over the timing of it, and that they did consult and give Buckingham Palace and Royal Communications a heads up in advance of putting out their operational notes about Harry's engagements.
But if they worked together a little bit better, those two brothers, and things like this may be less likely to happen.
Hello and a warm welcome to Sussexful. I'm your host, Emma. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe to support real stories about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, not the twisted media version. In today's video, we look at the shocking revelation. ITV admits that Prince Harry outshines Prince William, and now they're reportedly asking Harry to work with William to boost his image. But why should Harry help the same people who've constantly attacked him, his wife, and even his children? Let's be clear, Harry's world does not revolve around William or the palace. Harry's trip was planned a year ago. He's working hard, supporting his family, and making a difference. Meanwhile, the palace and UK media are scrambling to spin another narrative. The so-called heir and spare dynamic has gone too far, from violent outbursts to media smears. Harry deserves peace and respect. ITV and the UK media need to leave Harry alone. He's free, thriving, and living life on his own terms. So, what do you think? Should Harry ever work with William again? Or maybe just keep his distance for good? Go ahead and share your thoughts below, and join the Sussexful family for more truth and positivity. We'd really love to hear from y'all. Prince Harry outshines Prince William. Prince Harry's recent endeavors have undoubtedly outshone those of his brother, Prince William. While William has struggled to gain traction with his initiatives, Harry has continued to thrive and make a meaningful impact. The British media has openly acknowledged this, with ITV admitting that Harry's work and presence simply outshine William's. This stark contrast is a testament to Harry's unwavering dedication and the public's growing appreciation for his authentic, compassionate approach. As the brothers navigate their respective roles, it has become clear that Harry's world does not revolve around William's agenda. Folks are increasingly frustrated by attempts to pit the two against each other, recognizing that Harry deserves the freedom to forge his own path in supporting his family and helping others. Honestly, it's time for William and the palace to accept that Harry's successes are his own, and to refrain from orchestrating engagements or undermining his efforts. The 21st century really demands a more progressive, understanding approach, one that allows both princes to thrive in their own unique ways. ITV admits Harry outshines William. So ITV's recent acknowledgement that Prince Harry is outperforming his brother. Prince William comes as no surprise to royal watchers. While William is seen as flopping in his public engagements, Harry is described as thriving and captivating audiences with his genuine, relatable persona. This stark contrast highlights the growing divide between the two brothers, with Harry's star power and impact seemingly eclipsing that of the future king. It's a pretty telling admission from the media outlet, underscoring the public's waning interest in William's more rigid and formal approach compared to Harry's more accessible and charismatic style. The royal family needs to understand that Harry and Meghan's world does not solely revolve around them. You know, the UK media has been seen as relentlessly exhausting towards Harry, seemingly unable to grant him the freedom to live his own life. While William may have orchestrated certain engagements during Harry's visits, the fact remains that Harry's recent trip was planned well in advance, suggesting the palace was fully aware of his plans. It's time for the royal family to recognize that Harry is a free individual, not beholden to their every whim or desire. The constant scrutiny and perceived unfair treatment of Harry and Meghan must come to an end if there is to be any hope of healing the rift within the family. Harry deserves the space to support his own family and continue his charitable work without the heavy-handed interference of those who refuse to understand his need for independence. The timing of the trips taken by Prince Harry and Prince William appears to be quite different. While Harry's recent trip was planned a year in advance, the palace's level of awareness regarding William's trip is unclear. This suggests that Harry's travel plans were communicated and coordinated with the royal household, whereas William's trip may have been more of a spontaneous or last-minute affair. The contrast in the planning and transparency surrounding these trips highlights the distinct approaches the two brothers have taken in their public-facing roles and commitments. Prince William is accused of orchestrating engagements and media coverage to deliberately undermine and overshadow Harry's important charity work. This behavior is described as pathetic and an example of William's desperation to maintain relevance, even at the expense of his own brother. The implication is that William feels threatened by Harry's popularity and impact and is resorting to petty tactics to try and diminish him. Rather than supporting each other's humanitarian efforts, it seems the brothers are locked in a toxic rivalry fueled by William's insecurity and need for control. Harry, on the other hand, is thriving in his freedom to focus on causes he truly cares about, without the added burden of competing with his own flesh and blood. What Prince Harry chooses to do with his life has absolutely no bearing on the actions and choices of his brother, Prince William. Harry is a free individual who is entitled to come and go as he pleases, pursuing his own path and priorities without having to answer to anyone else. The brothers lead separate lives, and honestly, it is unfair and misguided for anyone to try to dictate or control Harry's personal decisions and activities. He has the right to live his life on his own terms, free from the scrutiny and interference of the media or the royal family. Harry's journey is his own, and he should be respected and supported in forging his own unique way forward. The labels and treatment of Prince Harry as the spare to his brother William's role as the heir are deeply troubling. Rather than nurturing and supporting both brothers equally, the royal household is accused of actively disparaging and mistreating Harry, even going so far as to physically attack him. The hierarchy and perceived dispensability of the spare have led to a pattern of abuse and neglect, culminating in the shocking allegation that William physically assaulted Harry. This callous disregard for Harry's well-being, simply because of his birth order, is a damning indictment of the toxic culture within the royal family. Harry deserves to be treated with the same dignity and respect as his brother, not cast aside as an inconvenient afterthought. The fact that the heir would resort to violence against the spare speaks volumes about the dysfunction and power imbalance at the heart of the monarchy. William's decision to separate the royal household is being criticized as a result of his bad temper and listening to lies. It's alleged that he orchestrated this move out of sheer frustration, rather than any strategic or diplomatic considerations. The rift between the brothers appears to have escalated, with William unwilling to extend an olive branch to Harry and Meghan. This divisive action has only served to further distance the two princes, undermining the unity that was once a hallmark of the monarchy. As the public continues to scrutinize the royal family's internal dynamics, the onus is on William to demonstrate leadership and reconciliation, rather than giving in to petty grievances. In the end, Harry has the right to live his life as he sees fit, without constant interference and scrutiny from the royal family and the media. He has tried to make things work, but ultimately, his happiness and well-being must come first. We can only hope that God will bless and protect the Sussexes as they continue on their own path, free from the constraints and toxicity of the institution they once belonged to. Harry deserves to be free to come and go as he pleases, without the constant need to justify his every move or action. May peace and prosperity follow him and his family, as they forge their own way in this 21st century world.